What type of person did you swear to never turn into growing up, but did anyway? The one that makes noises when I get up off the floor. I never thought I would grow up to be so lonely, but here I am. I didn't expect this sort of response from the community. Thank you all for taking the time to reply. It seems as though adult loneliness is something many of us have in common. Again, thank you. I swore I'd never stop being goofy. That I'd always try to find the positive and wouldn't give up hope. But then life happened. It's hard staying an emotionally sensitive and caring person when so many people are just plain mean. An angry person. Life and people are just too much all the time. The kind that put something back cause the store brand was 20 cents cheaper. I never thought I'd live paycheck to paycheck by my age. I thought I'd be on my way to being financially independent by now, in fact. It's always been my goal. I was willing to work so hard from such a young age and never scared to make sacrifices, but unfortunately my people reader is skewed and all I ever really got was taken advantage of. It's not too late, I'm smarter now and I'll get there. An alcoholic. A corporate slave. My dad. If my child self met my adult self, he'd tell me that I shouldn't say so many bad words. Give up drawing. I actually broke my own heart when I recently found a school project we did back when I was a kid. We had to write a letter for our future selves and mine starts with, "Hey, did you become an artist already? I really hope you did not become a boring adult with a boring job who gave up on his dreams and passions." Well, sorry little me, but I kinda did. The dad that gets up at 4:30 am to exercise, and is ready for bed by 9 p.m. I remember learning what a nerd was and thinking thank God I'm not a nerd as I went home from school to play Pokemon Emerald and talk on Pokemon message boards about the upcoming Diamond and Pearl games. I actually thought I'd be dead before I even made it to 30, and I'm not just saying that. I truly lived a life that justified that stance. Now I'm 10 years beyond that age and can barely believe it. I see no reason why I won't be here for at least another 30 or 40 years. It's nuts lol. A homebody. In my early 20s I would never miss an opportunity to go out on Thursday, Friday, or Sat night and couldn't understand why my parents would waste a perfectly good weekend night, just to stay home. Now I get it. Man, do I get it. Crotchety, single old lady. I'm only sometimes crotchety, but I'm almost 50 and still single. A drug addict and alcoholic, 1 month sober though. Overweight, not super big, but not skinny anymore. I didn't want to end up like Scrooge, but now I deeply dislike Christmas and dread it every year. An office drone. Redditing as we speak to avoid looking at yet another ghastly eyesore of a spreadsheet. Why have we done this to ourselves as a civilization? A bored person. I thought I would find a lot of exciting things I could do in life. I didn't. The type of person who feels necessary to deep clean the house before someone comes over even if they've been here 1,000 times. I've been upset with my husband on a few occasions for inviting a friend over if I hadn't cleaned beforehand. I always thought I would keep up with trends and slang, keep being a cool internet kid and never end up as an old person who just doesn't get what the youth are into. Boy, did that not work at all. I just woke up one day and realized I had no idea what the hell TikTok, Fortnite, and all these weird memes and phrases mean lol. I'm acutely aware I'm old and why I know what it's fun. I work for the government. I was a little punk growing up. I used to watch my dad out in the yard cutting out dandelions by the root and thought I hope I never give a shit about weeds that much. Guess what? I always thought of myself as cool and attractive. For a while there I was, then as I got older I'm becoming unattractive, and a big loser. It's killing me on the inside. When I was little I thought that I would never use swear words, and I refused to swear until I was around 14. Now I swear all the fucking time. I used to laugh at my grandma's fashion choices and swear that I would never stop trying to look attractive. Now I am 100 granny panties and stretchy pants, and most of my fashion choices are for my comfort rather than to please the eyes of others. Suburban. Teenage me is super pissed I'm not in a communist commune. Turns out I like AC and privacy. A lazy person with no ambition. I always hated my dad for not working hard enough. He just worked 5 hours a day and had a nice salary but still complained about how hard he had to work. He had almost the whole day left, still he complained how he is struggling to make both ends meet. He just sat on a chair and watched TV the rest of the day. I swear I will never be like him. I would have a goal and chase it daily. But I am afraid I am turning into him. Lately I have been scrolling through the Insta and YT for 6 hours even though I had important exams coming up. An office worker, turns out medical benefits and a 401k go a long way towards making me less stressed and more productive with things I love. Today's music suck. Squidward. I've yelled at my teenage kids on occasion. Certainly not commonly, but more than I vowed I would if I ever had kids, when I was their age. On rare occasions they're completely exasperating little assholes and I just can't stop myself. Always feel like shit afterward too. I was very anti-drugs and anti-smoking as a kid. I watched it kill almost my entire dad's side of the family. Now, I smoke weed and tobacco every day. I was the same way. Watching my father continually irritated made me believe it was wrong. Now I realize it's simply the complete range of emotional experiences. Although he did lean in a little harder than I would have, but I understand it. I don't try to be furious, but I now know how and when to summon that aspect of myself. It's not enjoyable, but it's a part of you. It is better not to ignore or avoid it. Being an atheist. I was a Christian for 30 years and then, after searching for the historical Jesus, could not in good conscience defend my beliefs. Christians, please do not take this as an opportunity to challenge me on this, you won't change my mind. My mother weary face. Someone who is always at home, but I fking love it lol. Living with my parents. Becoming disabled sucks. A hater. Unfortunately I think I may be a hater. Hard for me to be joyful for other people and their plans, kids, jobs, success, etc. I want people to be sincere but most aren't, and I cannot stand people who embellish their crappy lives. Like let's all be miserable together. It's kinda sad and kinda silly. I never thought I'd turn into a person that gets annoyed while driving, but here I am. An alcoholic. I'm 2 years sober now though. The one that wants to wake up early. When I was in high school, I couldn't understand why people like to wake up before 10. Now, if I wake up at 10, I feel like my day has been wasted. As a kid who grew up on the internet and social media, I will not give my kids access to social media or anything like that until they reach a certain age. I always thought I would be a laid-back dad, but now I realize there's a difference between laid-back and deadbeat. Number 12-year-olds should be watching brains spill out on Live Leak or get panic attacks because they saw some fear-mongering news article that says the world is ending. Unfortunately my parents didn't restrict me on the internet, which fucked me up a little bit, but ultimately I'm glad because it taught me what not to do. I won't ever be some tree-hugging hippie smoking all that dope. I will always be a faithful Christian till the day I die. Here we are about 7 years later. I frequently do shrooms and smoke pot in the woods and hug trees. I also tend to follow a spiritual guidance, not the word written by man. I grew up in rural Kansas on a farm, so the last thing I wanted to be was a city slicker. Cut to 30 years later and I live in a bachelor pad 40 floors up with a private chef in the heart of Manhattan. What have I become? Fat and bald. Squidward. I thought I was gonna grow up to love only one person, make her my wife and live happy with her forever. Now to think of a romantic relationship for me makes me laugh. I swore I'd never spend my evenings sitting on the couch tired from work and not going out on weekends like my loser parents. Guess I'm a loser parent now too. Lesbian. An old person. I failed. Is this where we all collectively say, my mother? I turned into the get up early to go hiking guy. I loved sleeping in as a teen. I swore when I was in undergrad that when I graduated I would be done with school. And yet here I am about to turn 30 and working on getting my PhD.